evening, everyone. Let's stand for the Pledge of Allegiance.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right, welcome. We're going to get started tonight with our community volunteer service recognition. So how we're going to do this is I am going to call up the person who did the recognizing, and they will introduce the people that they've recognized. So we'll get started. If you want to read the letter that you wrote, you can do that, or you can just give us a brief synopsis, whatever you're comfortable with. So we will get started with Crystal Brown. Crystal Brown here? No? Read them ourselves.
Do you have it?
I don't have it. Mark has them all.
And where was
Did you?
I think he was waiting for people in the line. Oh, okay.
There he is.
Do you have?
All right. So Amy Ambrosius, is she here tonight? All right, come on up. I will do the recognizing then. So this is what Crystal had to say about Amy. Amy has been the PSO treasurer for the last 2 years at Fairview. She has dedicated her time and talent to the PSO meetings and events. Amy's favorite event is the Fairview Family Farm Night. The anticipation of the event and then seeing the families have fun and enjoy themselves always brought her great joy. She's a great role model to the community and to our students at Fairview. Thank you. Taking pictures.
It's under there.
There we go. Excellent. Thank you. And then I have Clint Whitehorse. Is he here tonight? All right, well, Clint has dedicated and volunteered a lot of his time at Fairview Elementary. He's worked many events and shared his talent with the students and their families. Clint is always willing to help at our events and is truly appreciated. He plays music at Trunk or Treat and our sock hop, and recently played a movie in our school gym along with his fun lighting. His time and talent is appreciated by our students, staff, and family. So thank you, Clint. All right, the next nominees are a group of 3. Let's see if any of them are here. Emily Friedland, Shannon Mintzloff, or Kiera Wolfgram. Are any of them here?
I am not either any of those 3.
Right.
But I'm Chris Wells. I'm the principal at Hillcrest. On behalf of the first grade team, I'd like to recognize Georgia Fleming. So Georgia, can you join me up here? And I'm going to read what the 3 first grade teachers said about Georgia. Georgia volunteers every Thursday in all of our first grade classrooms. She is a dedicated volunteer who comes in every week, willing to work with any student and complete any task we ask of her. She is kind to the students and generous with her time. Even on Thursdays when she can't make it, she'll always find another day or time to make sure she's working with our students. We appreciate her generosity, and the work that she does with our students is invaluable. So thank you, Georgia. Thank you. Yeah, thank you.
All right, thank you. Next up is Barb.
Me. Okay, this is we're calling it the TAPS players. So if you are one of the TAPS players, if you would come to the front. Any of the TAPS students? Well, I guess we're up here together, huh?
I'm Dylan.
Hi, Dylan. If you've ever attended a military funeral, a solemn song played on a horn might be your strongest memory. Just 24 notes will pierce your heart. TAPS. These students work with funeral directors and veterans group in wind, rain, and snow to provide this salute for military families. Thank you for your service, and thank you to Mr. Bush for encouraging this service over the years. And one of the kids is at college. Will Murphy, he said, I'm thankful for the award and the recognition. Truly honored to be a part of Pulaski and serve in any way I can in our community. The music has been an important part of my life since I can remember. And one of the biggest lessons I'm learning through college is that I can give back with my music. And I hope to continue. So, I'll try to read the other names for you. Thank you. Nick Diefenholler, Dylan.
Don't even bother, it's okay.
William Murphy, Emma Strzelecki, Bailey White, TJ Shaw, Grayson Urando, Brandon Moreland, Brooke Splingler, Reed Gussert, and Henry Pizikowski. Nope, that's not it either. But it's close. You want a picture? Hold this one and then I'll find it.
Okay.
All right, thank you, Barb. Oh, she is, okay, that's right. She's got the card.
You're gonna do the next one too, or?
Yes, you're doing all of yours.
Oh, well, okay.
Do you want me to look through them?
Yeah, go ahead, Dylan.
Save you a job, at least.
Thank you very much.
Oh, I'm on the bottom.
Oh, look at that.
Worked out.
Make me read all at once here. Okay. This one, for those of you that live in the village, about 10 years ago, we lost about a half a block of our downtown. So on Thursday, September 14th at 2:30, at 351, Pulaski Fire Department was paged to respond to a report of smoke and flames showing at 118 West Pulaski Street. Upon arrival, Chief was able to assess the situation and initially size up the reported smoke and flames showing from the rear, and the PD reported that power lines were down. Pulaski Fire Chief immediately upgraded MABAS box card 1111 to the second alarm level to get additional resources. Pulaski Ladder arrived next and supported Pulaski's engine crew and forced an interior attack. Firefighters forced entry through a glass door at the front of the building and entered with a crew of 2. Firefighters reported heat, thick smoke, and low visibility. They found and extinguished fire throughout the first floor. Pulaski's crew was relieved by the Swamico Fire, who continued the interior attack. Howard Fire also made an interior attack. Approximately 40 minutes in, the interior crews recorded that conditions worsened and a decision was made to evacuate and go defensive. 3 ladder trucks were set up to spray into the fire building, along with placing water curtains on the sides of the building, and had lines throughout. Once in defensive mode, work coordinated with the Pulaski Department of Public Works and was informed that hydrant system was starting to not keep up. Upgraded via MABAS for additional resource on tender shuttle to shuttle water to the fire source. Fill site and at the Pulaski ponds near the Pulaski Water Department, where mutual aid departments assisted in drafting and tender fill. Was also able to get backhoes on the scene from Moroshik and McKeefrey and Sons to help contain the fire to the immediate building and assist with overall. Throughout the evening and into the next morning, utilized resources from Brown, Oconto, Shawano, and Outagamie County were used. In total, approximately 21 fire departments, 4 ambulance services, multiple police agencies, and various multiple support services were utilized to assist in containing the fire and providing first aid to first responders and residents. Over 1 million gallons of water was used via hydrant and tender shuttle to extinguish the fire. their job and their work that night saved the rest of the downtown. Nothing else was lost, that's just that one building. These folks, some of them may get paid a little, I think, I don't know. But most of them are, most of them are volunteers. And even the ones that get paid, they don't go in and work an 8-hour shift and go home. They go in and work till the job is done. If any of you would come on up, I know there's different departments here. Come on up. I just wanted to recognize this because they do it every day, whether we know they're there or not. When we need them, they're there. This is our Pulaski Fire Chief, James Stachinski.
This is Chris from Swamico Fire and County Rescue, Stefan Schaefer from Howard Fire, Mark from Greenleaf Fire, and also
Don Waters from Green Valley Mortgage.
yes.
Greenleaf, that's a long way to come.
Yes. That is very true.
Yeah.
We had a lot of support.
Right, it was wonderful support.
No, we appreciate what we do. I didn't really know what you're asking for, so you got a version of our first in report.
It was your report, I know, but it hits you when you read it that way, that they did all that work. I'm a poor reader, I'm sorry.
No,
I get nervous.
no, and that's fine. Because it's these guys are the ones that did all the work. I can.
You just stood there and pointed
Exactly. I'm getting better at
for
that.
18 hours?
Yeah, exactly. But no, exactly, and it's these guys that come in under time, like you said, instead of sleeping at night, coming from out of the area, and the coordinating the tender operations, which is water shuttle into the town, not affecting the village residents on their utilizing their homes at the same time too, or damaging the water system, so you could still operate as residents in town. That to us, that's very important. It was part of our goal that evening too. And we thank you. The rest of our guys are actually doing host testing at the station now, so we got away a little bit to do this. But no, appreciate the thoughts and considering our department. And we thank you for the opportunity.
Give them one more hand for Squish together, guys. Thank you much.
Thank you guys.
Thank you all.
Barb, do you have another badge?
No, I'm done, aren't I?
I think so.
All right, next up is Tracy Berchinski. This is B. Are you here tonight?
I'm presenting for her.
All right. You get to see a lot of this guy tonight.
I'm Curtis Sufka. I'm the principal at Glenbrook Elementary. This was for Jim and Ruby Radke. They got front row seats. They know how this works. Tracy couldn't be here tonight, but she asked if I would read, and I said absolutely for these two.
We were waiting for Kiss Candid.
Sorry, Jim. Sorry, she asked for it, though. Happy wife, happy life. Here we go. Tracy writes, Jim and Ruby Radke are simply amazing. They've been volunteering to support our third grade team at Glenbrook for years now, and we truly appreciate their help. The third graders absolutely love seeing them come in, and the work that Jim and Ruby do for us is wonderful. They both truly help us make our lessons engaging and meaningful. Jim and Ruby are so very valuable to our school, and they deserve to be recognized for their volunteer service.
Thank you, Mr. Sufka.
You are very welcome.
All right, next up is Amber Gauthier from PACE. Hello.
Hello, everyone. Wasn't sure how this was going to work tonight, so I wrote a little thing here. But I have nominated Marquette, so come on up, Mark. So my name's Amber Holowinski. Jesus, I've been married for 10 years. Amber Bachia. And I lived in Pulaski for my entire life. So growing up, my mom would talk about a bald guy that would be out in the community, always helping everyone. So it wasn't until I started working at Pace that I really saw the things that he does. He's taken time out of his extremely busy schedule to help move freezers, pick up snow blowers, make special deliveries for the pantry, set up movie screens for local churches, find reliable cars for community members, find strollers, bikes, wheelchairs, help people find jobs, and also he cooks breakfast for some of our seniors. So the list is really endless as to why he should have been nominated for this and why I have nominated him. So thank you for everything you do.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you both. Next up is Marissa Steffel.
I'm nominating, or I nominated Rose Andre. So I'm Marissa Steffel. I'm the middle school family and consumer science teacher and have been since 2013. Rose came in that first year that I started teaching and offered up her services to help with my entire sewing unit, which has turned into an amazing support system over the years. She's helped with all the curriculum changes, schedule changes. She has helped with troubleshooting sewing machines, pretty much anything sewing related she has helped with. So she has been, not only personally, but also professionally, a huge support system for me over the last 11 years. And I know she has to kind of take a step back, but I wanted to thank her for that.
All right, thank you, ladies. Mr. Heck, you are up next.
All right. Well, you guys don't all have one, but you guys have the little Need a Ride. It's a program that we have here in the community, and it allows some of our, maybe our older folks or some folks that maybe are disabled, or sometimes it's folks that have had maybe a hip surgery or something like that, and they're not able to get around themselves. We can go and get them a ride. And then we get them a ride and get them to the places that they need to go. Things like the dentist, the doctor, a haircut appointment, grocery store, things like that. And it works throughout the entire district. So anybody that lives within the district is eligible to be able to give us a call, and then we can work on that. But the only way that it really works is with Miss Lisa Cumber. So Miss Lisa, if you would come up here, please. Lisa is our driver. And so what she does is she goes and picks the people up. And again, some of the people have a reason that they are not able to drive. And so Lisa has to be able to kind of work with them a little bit and help them into the car, help them out of the car, and then help them where they're going. We get phone calls all the time about what a wonderful job that she does. We've gotten a lot of calls from our businesses in town that have said, thank you so very much. You know, our clinics are going, I don't know how some of these people would be able to get in. You know, they're coming in multiple times a week to get blood work done, things like that. Lisa's able to get them and get them in here and do that. So it's absolutely wonderful, and it's been a great program. So thank you very much.
Thank you.
All right, thank you both. And Mr. Sufko's back up here.
Gonna bring back up.
Fair enough.
I'm Curtis Suck. I'm the principal at Glenbrook Elementary.
Tom Crow, associate principal.
The first person that's on my list that we would like to recognize for the Community School District Volunteer Service Award is really means a lot to me. She's an actual former student. So on the one hand, that means I'm really old because I have students that are coming back. But on the other hand, to sit and listen to her story and how appreciative she is of the Pulaski Community School District, and to be able to, it's kind of talk about coming home, but to come back home and to be able to pay that forward with some of our young students. Haley Edgerton. past school year, or this past year, our school had the privilege of working with Haley in numerous capacities. She's a big sister, not to just one student, but she's actually a big sister to 2 students, and she's also a classroom volunteer for several teachers. As a former student, it warms her heart that she's been so focused on giving back to her former elementary school. She's proud of the relationships she's built with students, and she's been very focused on learning as much as she can from the teachers that she works with. She's been a wonderful addition to our school this past year, and earlier this year she came, we congratulated her. She was accepted to Stevens Point, where she is going to pursue a profession in teaching. So, Haley.
Next up, we have Donna Gelkowski. Come on up. Awesome. We love it when we hear from PACE that someone in our community wants to work with teachers and students. This past year, Glenbrook was blessed to have Donna choose our school for this work. Donna has volunteered for us in several different grade levels this year, increasing what we call at-bats, or extra opportunities to review and practice academic skills, like math facts and reading fluency. 2 very important skills. Thank you, Donna, for pitching in and making our school even better.
Next up, we are blessed with another former student, Miss Ava Sayoka, if you would come up here. It's always a pleasure to be contacted by a former student who's interested in giving back. This past year, Glenbrook was honored to have Ava back within our buildings, helping out several of our teachers with our kindergarten students. Trust us, having an extra set of eyes and hands for kindergarten, especially in art and PE, is amazing. Every time Ava was in our building, she was sure to bring a positive attitude and a great big smile. That made everyone around her happier too. Ava's been a terrific addition to our school this past year. Ava.
Next up is Barb Banashinsky. She is Miss B, as she is affectionately known, is a kind and loving person and can be found in our 4K classrooms. When she arrives each day, the students rush in to give her a big hug. Miss B helps out with various projects and is always there to lend a helping hand. Best of all, Miss B brings a big smile and positive energy with her whenever she visits. She is such a wonderful example for our students, and we are lucky to be able to have her in our rooms. Let's give her a nice hand.
Next up, I'd like to actually call both of them up if they're both here. I saw Amy Schwartz and Stephanie Sorensen.
She was trying to come.
She was trying to
She has a
come.
newborn.
Yes, yes. Let's give Amy a hand. It's not going to be hard to find her partner Stephanie, because they literally, I believe, have been here like every day. She's laughing already. We would like to recognize Amy for the countless hours she has spent cutting out AVMR materials for our school and students. These materials make up a valuable resource, providing both interventions and enrichment activities for our students. Her dedication to this project has saved our school literally thousands of dollars. We also want to let Amy know how wonderful it was for her to be able to stop in and chat for a minute or two and to always share a smile. Amy's an awesome reminder of how fortunate we are at Glenbrook to have such strong connections between schools, and families. So besides the certificate, we gave her a pair of gold scissors.
Next up, we have Jennifer Folkman. Let's give her a round of applause. I just want to point out she's got her whole family here, and I love it when the kids are here to see. Yes, it is awesome to be proud of everything that giving back. So we want to thank Jen for the exceptional job she does for us in Fort Cave. She is so reliable and takes pride in knowing that each of our individual students what they might need. She provides a wonderful set of extra hands and eyes in our room and is able to jump into seemingly any situation effortlessly and with both compassion and understanding. Jen leads with kindness and a caring heart. We are so lucky to have her here at Glenbrook.
Ann Wazurek couldn't be here tonight, but I'll quickly read. Ann, a.k.a. Mrs. Claus, is one of those people who you just love seeing in your building. This past year, she's been helping once again in Miss Lewin's first grade classroom. While working this year, Ann developed some new ideas and strategies to get the most from the students that she works with. Some volunteers might be a little shy or worried about trying something new or making a suggestion to the teacher with whom they work, but not Ann. She fits into our PLC model and truly works with and alongside Mrs. Lewin. Just another reason we love seeing Ann come back year after year.
And finally, we have Mary Strelo. Give her a round of applause. Mary is a dedicated and hardworking helper in our 4K classroom. Mary is always up for a challenge, and nothing is ever too big or too small for her to help with. She can always be counted on to jump in right away wherever we might need her. The best part of all is that we know whatever she helps with will not only be done in an excellent fashion, it'll be done with a smile too. Thank you, Mary. We are so grateful for all that you do. Let's give her a round of applause.
All right, thank you all. Allison Space is up next.
Good evening, everyone. I'm Allison Space. I'm the superintendent. This evening, I would like to recognize Jeremy Van Beek with Elite Canine Training. And if you brought any of your team with you, come on up. Stop thing for me. I really appreciate that.
Thank you.
During the bomb threats in September and October, remember that time for us, and especially thinking of where we were at and how things were going and how quickly it was that you came to our aid. And as I was writing this, I actually had to write it 3 or 4 times because I was thinking back on that day. But I remember you very specifically saying to me, what do you need us to do and how can we help? So it was in the days after that, you came so quickly and you did whatever it was that we needed you to do, but it was that assistance afterwards, and it was just the comfort knowing that we had someone so close that we could call on for that service. So thank you for your service to our schools and our community. Truly. Out of the same time frame in this event, I'd like to call Tom Conley up. Appreciate it. So little did you know that on that day, when all of the canines were actually all in Manitowoc, we had a threat come in. And so you actually had your dog be able to work in real time and come back in the reality of actually a bomb threat right here in our school district. And when you came back, you know, it was that same, what can we do? It was the advice, it was the planning with us, it was the stopping in, calling, letting us know that you were always there. Those are the sorts of volunteer services that just continue and continue afterwards, and we're so very grateful for that. So thank you so much.
All right, thank you all. Next up is Lindsay Shorter.
I am here on behalf of Leo Club, so Olivia, if you could come join me. Olivia Burdett. I'm one of the Leo Club advisors at the high school along with Jen Heck. Olivia is one of those students, like if we could clone you and have a classroom full of you, that would be fantastic. She's a great role model. She's been one of our officers for the last couple of years. She is a great leader. Service is really what she thrives in. She does a lot of volunteering with our PACE stuff, so thank you, Mark, for all of those opportunities. She's come back for Wellness Day, 6th grade Olympics, so she helps out at the middle school a lot as well. So thank you for everything, and we know you're going to do great things.
Thank you both. Catherine Brown.
Do we want to try to do like all of the music ones together, or should I just do one separate?
Where you'd like to go.
Yeah. Is Mike here?
Okay.
Oh, there we go. I just feel better with.
I know, right?
another person.
I like the Curtis and.
Yeah, that was good. That was good. So as a team, Mr. Guerrero and I, Mike Guerrero and Kelly Brown, and then Tom Bush, who's not here, wanted to thank the community, of course, for all that they have provided for the support and to be able to have us do an amazing thing for the band as well as the choir to come along as well to head out to Pasadena. And we have picked just a few of the many volunteers that have made a huge difference in that trip and all that it entailed. So we would like to recognize some of those tonight.
Yeah.
Excellent. Okay. First, I'd like to have Jeff and Chris Momart come on up. Jeff and his wife Chris were the hosts for the Rose Parade President and First Lady visit last summer. They planned, organized, and executed an amazing visit for the couple, showcasing Pulaski and the greater Green Bay area. And Jeff has also served as the Pulaski Music Booster Vice President this past year and was very busy marching parades with the students, taking care of many chaperoning duties for Pasadena and beyond. He and his wife Chris have supported the choir as well as the band by coming to everything the choir and band have been involved in, which makes for an extremely busy December and February and March. Well, yeah, you get the idea. So, but we just want to thank you for all that you have done for us this year and previous years as well. Thank you. Next, I'd like to ask Kara Gussie to come up. Kara Laura did an amazing job of coordinating efforts related to the corporate sponsorship, and I honestly don't know all that was involved, but I know it had to be a great harrowing experience for you. So we want to thank you for all that you did with the corporate sponsorships for the music burst. End of the school year. For the music boosters to aid in the music department trip to Pasadena. On a personal note, I put down that she has positive personality and it's easy to work with, so I appreciate that very much.
Is that it for you?
Yes. My three.
Okay, I'm going to read some on behalf of Tom Bush. He was not able to be here tonight. So first I'd like to ask up Jessie Drees if she's here. Okay, so she's not in attendance tonight, but we'll still read her. So Jessie Drees has worked tirelessly on behalf of our Red Raider Marching Band. She's been the lead of our MET Force. MET is an acronym for Musical Equipment Task Force for the past 4 years. Her duties include, but are not limited to, arranging fellow booster parents to assist with pulling a trailer, loading and unloading the musical equipment and instruments, handling repairs to the music equipment and instruments when necessary, protecting our equipment and instruments from damage. Just so you know, we had to get all of our stuff out to California and back. And just wrap your head around that for a second. And so all of these things, traveling hundreds, thousands of miles throughout northeastern Wisconsin and, of course, across the country. So just awesome help with us, and it's fantastic. So Jessie Drees, thank you. Okay, if I could please invite up Lisa Pillard. Lisa Pillard has served as the Pulaski Music Booster Treasurer for several years. With all the fundraising that's taken place in preparation, especially for Pasadena, the Rose Parade trip, she and others have had a huge amount of financial information to keep track of, keep organized, pay in, pay out. She probably sees numbers in her sleep. She's done
If you get sleep.
If you sleep. She's done just a fabulous job with her volunteer position as treasurer and has always done so with a smile and super positive attitude. Lisa is stepping down from her treasurer position. We're still trying to help, maybe avoid that, but she's been doing it. She's stepping down from her position, and she'll be greatly missed for her contributions to the Music Boosters, students, and families who incredibly appreciate her. Lisa Pillard. Okay, now I have stuff for myself. So first, I'd like to ask up Rebecca Ullman. So Rebecca has served as our music booster officer and has supported the PHS music program for many years. Most recently, she served as a chaperone for a music department trip to Pasadena, California. Rebecca has also been especially helpful as a chaperone for many PHS jazz events and trips. Rebecca has invested countless hours in support of our music program, and we are truly grateful to her for all she has done. Thank you so much, Rebecca. Okay, we're almost done. Next, I'd like to invite up Charlotte Scala. Charlotte has served and supported the PHS music program for many years. She's taken a lead role for several events, including our music department trip to Florida and throughout our busy summer last year. Most recently, she served as a co-lead chaperone for a music department trip to Pasadena. Charlotte has invested countless hours organizing people, planning events, scooping ice cream, whatever's necessary, and we are truly grateful to her for all she's done. Charlotte. have two more. Another one of these folks I don't think are in attendance tonight. The first is Margaret Winkleman. Margaret has served as a Music Booster Officer and has supported the PHS music program for many years. Most recently, she served as a co-lead chaperone along with Charlotte for our music department trip to Pasadena. In addition, she served as a fundraising coordinator for our trip, facilitating and organizing many fundraising efforts to help support students and families. Margaret has invested countless hours in the betterment of our music program, and we're truly grateful to her for all she has done. A round of applause for her. And finally, Nikki Love has been nominated. This one's for Tom. For more than 2 years, Nikki Love has dedicated countless hours to our Pulaski Music Booster program as a volunteer and, more importantly, as an officer for the organization. During the 22-23 school year, Nikki served as the vice president of the Pulaski Music Boosters. This last school year, she served as the president of the PMB and oversaw a staggering amount of activities, fundraisers, and meetings. Her efforts to do her best to be certain that no family be left out of opportunities to raise and or gain funds for their trip to Pasadena has been impressive and without waiver. Nikki has served as the organizer of the Polka with the President event when we hosted the President and Leading Lady when they visited in June, and has organized multiple Chillerific Music Palooza fundraising events, which has raised literally tens of thousands of dollars for the music program and boosters. So please help me show appreciation for Nikki. I just want to add one more thank you, and that's to everyone here and our school board and all of our community members. I kept telling people when we went out there that it truly felt like we were being lifted out there by the community of Pulaski, and we took a little piece of all of you with us out there. It was really, I was really proud to represent you, so thank you.
EDB's up next.
Good evening, Heidi Bukovich. I nominated Sarah Marashek. I nominated Sarah because she volunteers multiple hours of her day to our district and children. Sarah's been part of the Pulaski Youth Soccer Club since 2016. She's held multiple roles, and these are all volunteer roles, as a VP, president, commissioner. She handles parent volunteers, concession stands, and organizing and running the soccer draft and the U10, U12 tournament every year for multiple years now. Sarah's also a member of the Bay Lake Soccer Board and has been part of that for 5 years. She's also coached boys soccer for different age groups for 7 years. Beyond her role in the Pulaski Youth Soccer Club, she was the costume for the high school musical Footloose, helped with the costumes there. She volunteered a lot of hours to prepare for the shows of that musical. She helped run the drama department bake sale fundraiser for a few years during the different shows. Sarah's also a member of the Sports Booster Club and has been a parent booster rep for the boys soccer at the high school for the past 3 years. And she continues to do that role. She organizes and runs their concessions along with volunteering any additional time to whatever projects the Sports Booster Club is involved in. Sarah has helped at the past 2 years for the Booster Bashes, selling tickets and setting up. And we are so blessed to have Sarah and her family a part of our community and district. Thank you for volunteering all your time.
All right, that wraps up all of our volunteer awards. On behalf of the board, thank you all for everything you do for our community and for our school district. Let's give them all one more round of applause. At this point, we're going to take a brief break. There are some refreshments out there for you to kind of meet and greet each other. Where it's going to take some pictures, and we will be back at 7. Need more time? We don't need more time. 7 o'clock. We'll be back at 7. Body culture. Okay. All right, we'll kick the meeting back up here. First thing we'll do is citizens forum. I believe we have one speaker.
Yes, Lindsay Shorter. Hi, I'm Lindsay Shorter. I'm digital learning specialist at the middle school. Oh, you need my address, right?
Yes.
2942 South St. Augustine Street, Pulaski, Wisconsin, 54162. I'm also the vice president of the PEA, and on behalf of the PEA and every teacher I have talked to, we wanted to just extend a thank you to the board for deciding to vote on a 4% increase for next year. So thank you for making that happen.
You're very welcome. Thank you. All right. Then that was it, right? Okay. Then we'll move on to the consent agenda. I hereby move to adopt the consent agenda. Hearing no objections, the consent agenda is approved by unanimous consent. Next up will be Claire with our student representative report. Thank you.
Guys, I can't believe this is my last one. That's so sad. And I graduate next week.
Awesome.
I can tell you, it's crazy. All right, guys, here we go. Boys baseball. Guys, they played a lot. Friday, Saturday, Monday, and Tuesday. I would die, but that's just me. They won 3 of the 4 games, 11-1, 4-0, and 6-0. And they have 3 more games left for their regular season. Thursday against Bayport, Monday against Ashwaubenon, and Tuesday against West Appear. Their regional semifinals are to take place on May 28th, and then they have the finals on May 30th. And then there was no semifinals that I could find, but it did say sectional finals were on Tuesday, June 4th. So I don't know where the semifinals go into play, but it'll be somewhere between that. And then for boys golf, they recently placed 5th out of 10 teams at the May 13th meet. They have a conference meet tomorrow at Wander Springs Golf Course, and then their varsity regionals is at Crystal Springs Golf Course on May 21st. Oh, that's unfortunate. Okay. Oh, it's because I couldn't find anything. That's why. So they recently finished their season on 5/14. Otherwise, there's not much that I could find, and that was really unfortunate. But the boys had a great season from what I've heard. They had a lot of fun from what I've heard through the hallways. Alright. Boys lacrosse, they recently won Monday against Wayland Academy. They have 2 more games left before their tournament. Tomorrow against Kimberly, and then Tuesday against Oneida Nation, Green Bay Southwest, and Seymour. They have the tournament on May 24th against Notre Dame, Ashwaubenon, and Kaukauna. And then girls softball, their season ended on Tuesday. The girls are excited for their semifinal on Tuesday, and then their regional finals are on Thursday. And then sectionals are the next week for the semifinals and the finals. Crazy, I could never. Girls soccer, they recently won on May 7th, May 9th, and May 10th with scores 8-0, 1-0, and then 1-0. And they recently tied on Tuesday. So that's crazy. Good for them. We have 2 more games for their season. We have one tomorrow against Notre Dame, and then on Tuesday against Green Bay Southwest. Their semifinals for regionals is on Tuesday, May 28th, and then finals on June 1st. Then they have semifinals on Thursday, June 6th, and then Saturday is their finals for sectionals. Girls lacrosse has 3 more games before their tournament contest. One tomorrow against Kimberly, Friday against Appear and West Appear, and then Monday against Wausau East, DC Evers, and Wausau West. Their varsity regionals are to take place on Thursday, May 23rd against West Bend West, Hartford Union, and Living Word Luthra. No idea where those are. I'm gonna be honest with you guys. Track and field, guys, they killed it. I heard that Lily Urban recently PR'd, which was so exciting for her. I heard that from Breezy, her sister. That's what I hear. That's about it. Otherwise, they recently placed 3rd at the FRCC championship meet for girls, and then 4th for the boys. And then regionals are to take place on Monday. Activities. We have quite a few. Guys, I'm excited to talk about Hope Squad. But first, on Saturday, prom is going to be held at the KI Center. Hope Squad. We had our 2nd annual Hope Week. Guys, let me tell you, my favorite part, Arlo. this cute little dog over here, our emotional support animal. The cutest thing I've ever seen. We got him from, where was it? Hobart Lawrence, the police department, because they had one. Unfortunately, we only got him 2 months, and then he had to go over to Glenbrook. Fortunately, we had to share. Guys, that's so unfortunate. Otherwise, we just hold a bunch of activities to promote mental health awareness because May is Mental Health Awareness Month. Yeah. And then NHS recently put on the honors reception night on May 6th, where 203 students were recognized for their achievements. Student Council will be hosting the senior cookout at Memorial Park on May 22nd after the graduation practice. And then recently, our forensics team had a great end to the season. All members qualified for state. And then Aiden Wynn received a perfect score of 25 out of 25 in the radio category, which is like, actually, I don't know how to describe it, but they get like 2 things that have like 30 minutes to prepare, maybe. And they have, I think 10 minutes is the max cutoff. I don't know. I'm not in radio, but it's extremely complicated, a lot more complicated than the rest of them. So good for Aiden. And then Taylor Morashek is a finalist for Star Farmer and Star Agricultural Placement for the Wisconsin FFA. With the FFA, our Eggs Mechanics team took 4th place at state, Livestock Evaluation team took 3rd place, and Meat Evaluation team took 8th place. And recently, we also had the 12th annual Goody Duathlon, which the Peer Acceptance Club took part in. It was so fun to watch. I got to watch it for like 5 minutes during Spanish. It was so good. And then our Leo Club recently wrapped up our year. Last Wednesday, they handed out Leo Club pins to members who reached 25 plus points for the year. Yeah. I think meetings are 1 point, and then for every hour of service you complete, you get 2 points. Our music department has had a crazy couple months. Jacob Willis and Emma Allsweet are going to be representing Pulaski at the Center Stage Musical Theater Showcase at Appleton on May 18th. Unfortunately, this same day is prom. Recently, we finished solo and ensemble. All ensembles performing at the Large Group Concert Festival received a superior rating of 1 from all of the judges. Numerous students and groups performed at WSMA State Solo and Ensemble on Saturday, May 4th. 55 of those performances earned a superior rating of 1, 19 earned a rating of 2, and 15 of those performances earned a perfect score, which is insane. Every year, the WSMA receives nominations for exemplary performance, and the PHS Music Department received 8 of those. And to receive a nomination, you have to have a perfect score, so that's insane. 4 of the performances were selected to receive the exemplary performance, which was our PHS Brass Choir, the Red Raider Jazz Ensemble, and Carter Ullman with a tuba solo, Carter Ullman, Gareth Ullman, Jeffrey Sanders, and Ryan Simons with a brass quartet. Oh, that's it! Well, thank you guys. It's been a good year.
Thank you, Claire.
What's next?
Well, I'm going to the University of Kansas, where I will be majoring in either human biology with an emphasis in psychology or behavioral neuroscience, or both. We'll see. Depends on how stuff overlaps. A lot of the classes overlap, so I could do both. Hopefully minoring in Spanish in some way. Yeah, I eventually want to be either a pediatric neurosurgeon or a neonatologist and give back to the community that, fought to keep me alive. I was a preemie, so.
Awesome.
So Claire, on behalf of the board and myself and our administrative team and our community, thank you for serving us here on the board.
Thank you.
I'm sure Bob will want to get a
Yeah.
picture of us together. So here's your certificate. You want to just stay? Is it okay for you?
Yeah.
And thank you so much.
Thank you.
I also have one more student I'd like to recognize, Colton, tonight. Colton's really, he's been through the board meeting routine with us this year, so we just appreciate all your work, appreciate all your time. I've talked with him a couple times about, what do you think of this whole process? And I said, he's like, I'm all right with it. No, just thank you for all you do. Let me shake your hand.
Thank you, Colton.
nice for you. The next thing I would like to recognize, and this is new this year, but it was actually mentioned, and I think that it's a really important part of making sure that the public, I mean, we get to recognize our staff and the years of service that they do and our retirees because we do an internal banquet, but we don't always get to have the public know who has been giving service to the district or who's leaving us in the district. And so I think it's really important that we put that out there. So Dana put the milestone award recipients and retirees, the formal document went on box, so that is there for the public to see. But I think I wanted to just take it a step further tonight, and I want to just verbally recognize all of our members, the people that are retiring and all the people that are still giving ongoing service to the district. So, some of these were words that I used the night of the banquet, and I think it's important to note that our retirees that are leaving us this year have served the district for 195 years. So that's pretty amazing. And so I'd like to read those names. So we have Deborah Sickles, Mike Nickerson, Chris Reed, Mary Therese Schultz, Kim Polasic, Sue Wheeler, Karen Baranchek, Denise Smarava, Diane Chartrand, and Tracy Szymanski are all retiring this year from the district. So let's give them a round of applause. And then I'm just going to go through our years of service people. So we'll start with our 10 years. In the 10-year category, we have Janelle Batten, Shannon Bishop, Catherine Brown, Mark Chambers, Dawn DeBush, Nicole Diemel, Betsy Gallagher, Angel Heim, John Hines, Brooke Lynch, Alicia Mashad, Lisa Pilert, Caleb Santee, Katie Schluter, Jamie Somerville, Jennifer Thompson, Kendra Wetzel, and Patrick Woodkey. Those are our 10-year. On to 15 years, we have Carrie Burr, Dawn Bogutsky, Sharon Brabender, Rebecca Butts, Sarah Casper-Dew, Sherry Sharpada, Cindy Denies, Susan Lewin, Jared Marsh, Amber Molly, Joanne Neely, Jessica Rosenberg Fredrickson, and Dave Shaw. Those 15. On to 20 years, Katie Backus, Michelle Fisher, Amy Griskoviak, Carrie Hartle, Ryan Menting, Lynn Place, Tamara Sullivan, Tracy Sundstrom, Shar Wilson, and Tricia Yarborough. 25 years of service in the district. Lori Babiash, Amy G., Paula Gobin, Sandy Harvey, Jen Heck, Christy Hutchins, Candy Lardenoy, Brian Morgan, Sarah Morgan, Daryl Otto, Jenny Stalick, Tracy Szymanski, Amy Ullman, Jeff Ullman, Carrie Wagner, and Sue Wheeler for 25 years. 30 years of service. Carrie Birch, Tom Bush, Jim Dell, Paul Ford, Jenny Gracielny, Martin Kraus, Paula Kraus, and Tricia Paul. And one staff member this year hit 35 years, and that's Carrie Fisher. So.
She's a bus driver.
We thank
35
all
years
of you.
of driving
Not just
bus.
a bus driver, my bus driver.
So we thank everyone for all of those years of service and for giving the time and being so dedicated and impacting our kids in a positive way every day when you come, whatever role you serve in the district. We say you're the person that makes contact with our kids, so we appreciate that. Thank you. Just a couple other notes of interest for the board. I still have not sent you an email about graduation happenings, but that's coming soon. I know that Mr. Smith and his team met today and did some final planning on that, and we always send a little something out together, so that'll be coming to you here in the next day or two. Really, the district events, it was wonderful to have all of you helping with Appreciation Day that day. It was, some of you got stuck in the rain. We didn't get stuck in the rain. We were really lucky. But I know some did, but we appreciate that time, and we had very good feedback on that. It was a great day to be together and appreciate everyone. And there's just lots of happening in all of our buildings right now. I think every building has something going on. So we're just wrapping up the month of May, and it feels like, I can't believe, it feels like it was September, and here we are already in the end of the school year. So just keep going with those events, check any calendars to see what's happening. Tomorrow is actually our last senior sunrise. Thursday morning, we do that once every couple months with our seniors. And we're excited to have, I think the jazz band is playing tomorrow.
Correct.
Yep. So we do that at the middle school. That's been a promising program, so we're excited about that. Otherwise, you can look for an update from me on graduation in the next day or two. That's all I have.
All right. Thank you. Next up is the video board donation. Who's doing that one? That's you,
Me.
Brooke?
I'm going to be speaking on behalf of Janelle Batten. She's at a seating meeting right now, which she couldn't be here. She apologizes. The Red Raider Sports Booster Club has donated a video board that is worth almost $50,000 to our school. It would be hung in our field house should you accept this donation. We could use it for athletic events, PE classes, our marketing class. There's so many different uses. We could use it for ad placement and have revenue come in that way. So very excited about this potential donation, and I think we would just need your blessing to accept the donation. It would be hung in July. I'm sorry I didn't mention that, but if accepted, we would have the whole thing includes a graphics package, software system, and an installation by a company in July.
Excellent. Any questions from the board? All right, then we just need a motion to accept it, I believe.
I'll make a motion to approve the digital video board as presented.
I'll second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
All those opposed? Motion carried.
That's
Thank
easy.
you.
That's an easy one.
Yeah, we'll take those.
Thank you.
All right, next up, annual parochial private school attendance area. Who's doing this one?
I am. So the parochial attendance area comes to the board every year. It is currently unchanged from last year. It's important to establish these. DPI requires it for transportation of parochial. There's a ton of guidelines on who gets to be transported by the public education system. But number one is that we need to have parochial attendance areas established so we know where to. All unchanged. We did have one conversation with an institution that wanted to be included. They believe that they were within 5 miles. They are 5 miles in a straight line from our boundary, but it is a well-traveled path. So when we routed it out, it was about 5.5 miles. So we advised them that they wouldn't be eligible. They also conflicted with another denomination of similar faith, so that they would have to establish boundaries. They didn't want to do that. So routes are unchanged. So as we currently transport, it's coming for approval.
Any questions for Mark tonight?
I have one question.
Sure.
I don't remember which school it is. There's one school that is eligible for busing but only had one kid use the bus part-time. Can't we just give that kid a contract and forget about busing?
Yeah, so we still need to establish the attendance area. I'm not sure if we do transport that out to check with Tracy. But just so everyone's aware, if it doesn't make sense for us to run a bus route, we do offer a parent contract. Parent contract currently this year is about $650. It means that it's not worth it. It's worth us just to pay the cost. $650 is the cost to transport a pupil. We take our transportation cost, divided by all our pupils that ride the bus, and figure out what it is. So then that parent, if it's not worth driving the bus there, and if it was one kid, it wouldn't be. We'd offer a contract.
Do we look at that again then? I mean, we look at the list then and say.
Every year we look at the list. So even with the attendance area, if it's in the attendance area and it's not worth taking a vehicle there, then we have a parent contract. I think we have about 45 parent contracts right now.
Thank you.
Yep.
All right, any other questions for Mark? All right, do we have a motion to approve?
I'll make a motion to approve.
Second.
Any other conversation? All right, all those in favor?
Aye.
All those opposed? Motion carried. Next up is the CISA contracts. I believe that will be Jenny.
So every year we bring the CISA contracts for approval. Our main one is for CISA 7. That's our membership area. But then we also do contract out for other services, which you can see. So CISA 6, we do our learning leaders network through them. And then CISA 8, you'll see, and Julie and Allie can kind of give you more information about that, but that's more of our special ed services and our substitute stuff for licensure. So we're CISA 7 does a 2-year contract, so we're actually going into our 2nd year of a contract, and you can kind of see what that entails. Basically, it includes like our Title I network that we're required to be a part of. It includes a literacy network. The superintendent, which they call PAC, is involved in that. With that contract, so many days are included in the base that you can get services from their individuals. So, for example, we take the lowest package, which is 10 days, and that's called the Full Learning Service Partnership. And so then we get 10 days that we can customize the work in the district. And so this upcoming year, we're actually using both of their literacy coaches to help us with our Act 20 training. And so they'll be here helping us to deliver that. Otherwise, we've pretty much used their literacy services with that network. So you can kind of see that information of what's all included. There are some other things that are included in there as well, and those are estimates based on this year and how many students. Do you guys want to talk about?
Yeah, so the Learning for Independence program is a program for students with IEPs who are working on like work skills, college types of preparation programs, that type of thing. And so we do purchase some opportunities for kids to participate in that program. And each year we determine what kids are going to participate. So there's money allocated for that. And then the SILHOP aids that are in here, those are predicted like right now to be estimates. We don't know exactly where that's going to land. It's always based on student need. And that actually leads into the CISA 8 contract as well. This is always our estimate at this time of the year, and we'll see when things start at the beginning of the year if there are any changes, but this is a pretty close estimate as to where we're at right now.
From a CISA 8 substitute perspective, we use CISA 8 so retired individuals can come back and sub for the district. So employees who are on our retired employees who are on our benefit in lieu of health insurance, per the IRS, they can't both be collecting that benefit and be actively at work. So the way around that is to contract through CISA 8 so they can receive that benefit through the district while also substituting for the district.
So those are the 3 contracts that we mainly have with the CISAs.
So quick question. So it's all billed out in days or units, right? So when you say an estimate, so this is worst case, hopefully, right? But if we don't burn these units, the cost goes down, or are we stuck with the cost no matter what?
No, it's based on how the services are provided.
Okay.
So like, for example, there was an increase last year, if you look at last year's versus this year's for CISA 8, for example, based on student need, and if that service is not needed, then that contract will be reduced.
Okay. Jenny, only 7 does the 2-year contract, the other ones are just 1 year?
Correct.
Okay,
Yeah.
all right, thank you.
I mean, I guess I gotta say
8
it
is
for
CISA
CISA
8. Yeah.
Okay. All right, thank you.
So we don't need to approve the 7.
Yeah, we have to approve all 3.
It's in the second year, do we need to approve this CISA 7?
They still send us a contract to sign, and the superintendent signs that one, so.
Are we seeing an increase in costs year over year with this, Mark? Or the cost of an hour, however, I don't know if these are days or hours, I see.
Yeah, I mean, CISA for their general services, standard increase of whatever they're paying their people. You know, it's hard to say because when it comes to special ed services, it depends on the pupil register. So you may have a CISA 8 contract that's, swings a lot, but in general, your services, what they charge a fee for a sub is minimal change.
Okay. All right.
And at least for the CISA 7 contract, Jenny, that one you find value for the learning services and the literacy programs that you utilize?
Yeah, and in some cases you don't really have a choice. It's your membership area, and so, so like I said, we take the basic of 10 days, but other districts might contract for, there's different packages, so. But we find value in our 10 days and using that with our literacy coaches.
Well, you have a bunch of training coming with this Act 20, right?
Yes.
That it's required training, non-funded. I love it.
Yeah,
I just love that, that
mandated, non
mandated, non-funded training by the state. And they're gonna be able to provide that for us, right?
Yep, that's what we're using our 10 days for this
So
year.
we don't have to go somewhere else, down to Madison or something.
Right.
Jenny, weren't they gonna provide us didn't they select us to be their district for something that they were gonna do in kind? Wasn't there something?
So that was Motion 57 funds, which were on literacy as well. And so they received a grant through the state, and then they used those funds for our training. And so actually all of our administrators that needed to have the Act 20 training, that's how we met that requirement. So it was transformative reading teachers group. And so we just had our second from final meeting with them yesterday. And then we have one more meeting, and they're kind of going to go through recommendations with us and what they've seen in our data. Our principals are going to share data as well, and then kind of give us some suggestions for next year as we do more with structured literacy. So.
Okay. Good. All right.
Do we have to do these separately?
Yes, we'll have to do all three of them separately.
I make a motion to approve CISA 6 contract.
Have a motion? Second. A second. Any other conversation on CISA 6 contract? All right, all those in favor?
Aye.
All those opposed? Motion carried on CISA 6.
Make a motion to approve CISA 7 contract as presented.
I'll second.
Any conversation around CISA 7 contract? All right, all those in favor?
Aye.
All those opposed? Motion carried.
I'll make a motion to approve CISA contract 8 as presented.
Second.
A motion and a second. Any questions, comments? All those in favor?
Aye.
All those opposed? Motion carried. All right, then we are on to PCSD Children at Risk Plan.
Yeah, that's myself and Laura bringing that forward. So we are seeking approval of the 2024-25 plan to implement for next year so that we can meet the statutory requirements of identifying students at risk of not graduating by the August 15th deadline, which is in state law. It's also part of our own adopted Neola policy. The plan is linked within the memo if you've had a chance to take a look at it. The vast majority of what we need to use as far as our criteria for identifying students at risk, as well as how we notify families, is dictated by state statute, so that's laid out in our plan. The plan also kind of details the different services that we offer and has templates for how we communicate with people and kind of our outlined timeline for how we communicate with families and then work with families to develop plans and then what that looks like throughout the year. So I'm just bringing that forward for approval tonight. If you have any questions.
Did you consider my suggestion the other day?
I did, and we added that part into our timeline, yes.
I just suggested that before the parents get that initial letter, there should be a personal phone call. And that wasn't in there.
Good idea.
Suggestion. And when Lindsay and I met with the team, that was one of the things I remember we talked about with the team of how do we reach out and explain the process that's going to happen next.
But
Thank you.
It's good to have it formally in the plan. So.
Thank you.
Good. Any other questions for these ladies?
I'll make a motion to approve the Children at Risk plan as
Second.
presented.
We have a motion and a second. Any other questions, comments? All right, all those in favor?
Aye.
All those opposed? Motion carried. Thank you. Next up is our personnel report.
So we have 2 hires to bring to you tonight. One at PHS and one in student services, and then we have 3 resignations for this evening, so we wish them well wishes.
All right, any questions? All right. Need a motion on this one?
Motion to approve the personnel report as presented.
Second it. We have a motion and a second. Any other conversation?
Is that going to help with the fact that we have to reduce one class at Fairview this year?
We already had that part of our staffing plan.
Oh, okay.
All right, anything else? All those in favor?
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Motion carried. Mark with the April budget report.
Yeah, nothing specific. All departments and business office are really prepping for year end. So June will be a big month where we'll bring any necessary budget amendments in preparation for year-end financials and then a year-end projection as well. So.
Okay, Treasurer, do you have anything you want to add this week? I know you guys have met a few times.
No, I think we talked a little bit about Field of Dreams and playing with that, and I think something will come forward soon to talk on that, and no.
Okay, all right, excellent. Any questions around budget information this month? Okay, all right, now we'll get on to everybody's favorite policy updates.
I'll lead the charge on this. So again, I provided that overview for you right within so that you can, kind of that would guide you. And then I specifically talked about a few policies that I wanted to make sure that you kind of understood the why behind some of those recommendations. So I guess we'll start with the questions that you have. Didn't have any questions come into the office. I think one came in, Barb. I think you called about expulsion, maybe?
I think it was the expulsion policy and the fact that you were dropping the word guardian.
Yeah.
And I didn't understand that because many times we have not parents, we have guardians.
Yeah, but that now is within their recognized
The definition of parents
It
includes
is.
guardians.
That's
Okay.
now, they've now swung the other way, and now that is considered parent is the word that they're now using. So that was that piece. So other questions that you have for us?
Yeah, I have a few. So on policy 2413, it actually references 2414, and it's about communication to parents on health education classes. And I'm just curious, so it says we notify parents in advance of instruction, and in here we're striking some of that. So how are we notifying parents? And I guess, do we have a sense? So the survey came to mind where some people didn't get notified of the survey. So what method are we using to notify parents of the curriculum? And then what's the response rate on getting anything back from them?
Jenny, do you want to talk through that?
So we have a letter, and I actually have copies of each of the letters. There's sky alerts that also go out to families. The letter basically says that they have a right to preview the curriculum before it's taught, so the videos, any of that type of stuff. We also include the links to our Embark, it's called. It's where our curriculum maps are, so they can also publicly go in there and look at the unit and what it entails. Then they have the option of opting out their children if they don't want to take that unit. And I think there's another policy that was in here that then talked about an alternative, to meet that requirement. So, but we've really shored that up because legally, we have to have that notification out. So, across the board, it's fourth grade, a letter goes home as well. Fifth grade, and that's more of the nurses or usually the male PE teachers will cover that. And then 6th, 7th, and 8th grade is our FIAD teachers, health teachers. So they work with their administration and their secretaries, and then same thing at the high school. There's a 10th grade course mainly, but there's also positive decisions for life that's incorporated into PE.
Okay, and I'm assuming we're striking notification because it's covered in 2414 already. Okay.
Steve, before we leave that one, it gives the district administration the option to require something other than that curriculum if they opt out. Are we doing that currently, or do we just wash it out?
Generally, they'll say that here's an alternative to meet that requirement, or they work with the family to find that alternative.
Okay, so we do require something in place of currently?
Generally, yes.
Okay, that's all I had on that one. Does anybody else have anything on that one specifically? Okay, go ahead, Steve.
I'm going to jump to 7440, the facility security. And I just had a question on our definition. So it says appropriate authorities may be contacted in the case of serious offense. What is defined as serious? I think it'd be helpful if we could come up with some type of definition for that. If not, it leaves room for interpretation.
Sorry, Steve, what paragraph are you on?
1, 2, 3, 4. It's just a single sentence after the 4th paragraph under facility security. Right above the green highlighted section.
Yeah, I would recommend we reach out to Tim Banneker and have him get a definition for us.
Yeah. I just get concerned if somebody's gonna say something serious that's not, or vice versa.
But you want that done, it's not really serious.
Yeah, exactly.
That was 7440, right?
That's correct.
Okay.
I only have 2 more.
That's good, I have too.
All right, you ready?
I'm ready.
All right, 7544. So it's an interesting one to me. This is a use of social media. So on the second page of what I printed, it's highlighted in green. The employees and district-approved volunteers are prohibited from using district-approved social media platform sites to communicate privately with individual students. My question is, this specifies district-approved social media. What about non-approved social media? We need to call that out, I think, otherwise it leaves an opening for somebody to contact our students individually with a not approved platform, and then what do we do about it?
Or is that covered somewhere else in policy?
It might be.
Okay.
That was my,
Yeah, or maybe we can just remove district approved and just say social media. Again, I don't know, but it just caught my eye. I'm like, ooh, interesting.
yeah, I would think that our staff shouldn't be contacting.
But it also might be too broad. I guess maybe we should contact Jeff to see what that language, what we can dictate for non-district approved
Sure.
accounts. But to the extent that we can make it as broad as possible, that would be desired. But maybe we should get a legal consult.
I'm sure there is another policy that covers.
I was going to say, isn't this one speaking specifically to school technology?
This one is strictly
School
social
computer.
media. No, this isn't technology. This is strict. There's policy 7540 is the technology acceptable use policy, but I'm assuming that doesn't call out like me reaching out to a student and having one-on-one conversations. I just get concerned when I see we call out one side of it but not the other.
Yeah.
So.
Approved or non-approved.
Correct.
Yeah, I agree.
And then the last one that I want to talk about is 8407, so School Resource Officer Program. It's the highlighted section where it says appropriate district personnel remain responsible for all decisions relating to student and co-curricular discipline. My question is, should we add a statement unless there's a violation of a local, state, or federal law, where then law enforcement would be engaged to assess the situation and not leave it strictly up to school administration?
Our school discipline won't change even if it was a drop on that, that's the second part of it.
But if a student breaks a law and the law is not aware of it, if Mark Logan finds the situation and it's a law that's violated and it goes to Allison, should Allison have the jurisdiction to decide what the discipline is if a law has been violated? My opinion would be no.
At least I'm not interpreting it that way. I'm interpreting it that Allison would have the duty to choose to include law enforcement in that.
Can we state that then?
The district is the one responsible for the students, and so that last sentence, district may impose disciplinary action and or refer the matter to appropriate law enforcement authorities. That's within her authority. That's the way I read it.
As long as we interpret it that way.
Yeah.
Yep. Okay.
So if a law is broken, Matt, in the high school,
We'll contact them. I think
we contact law enforcement 100% of the time.
Yeah, and I talked to families and students about this. I mean, it's what I call Venn diagram overlap, where we have a violation of a school rule and or board policy and a potential law violation. You know, we determine what school rule or board policy was violated, but if we believe a law may have also been violated, we involve the SRO, make them aware of it, and then they determine what law, if any, was violated.
But we give them 100% authority to handle it from a legal perspective. They make that call 100%.
Oh, yeah, just like in the same way they can't, say you need to suspend the student, I can't say you need to write a disorderly conduct citation here. I mean, they make those determinations.
Excellent.
Yep.
Okay.
Does that help, Steve?
It does, yep.
Okay. All right, anything else?
No, I'm good. Thank you.
Okay. I just have, hold on, I just got left out. 2460, independent education evaluation. That line that's getting added, if the district determines cost exceeds the cost criteria, then the district must, without unnecessary delay, initiate the process. So, do we have that cost criteria established?
Yes, we do. We have a procedural document that we share with the families if they request an IEE. and that those costs are included within that.
Okay.
So it's very clear as to what would be covered and what would not be covered.
Okay, excellent. So,
Can we reference that in here?
I can.
Okay, that would be helpful.
yeah,
Sure.
yeah. Just so that it's disclosed, it's not some moving target.
Yep.
Okay. And then 4431 and 3431, do you need action on these from us, Allison? I thought it said we had to choose one or the other.
4431 and what?
3431, the two employee leave ones, it looks like military service. Board may opt to include the following language if the first option is selected. So do we have to make a call here? That was a little gray for me about the verbiage on this one.
You guys remember?
I would say it shouldn't be technical and it should fall under the board.
It wasn't technical.
Okay.
Right?
Sorry, I thought that was your question, Jennifer.
I don't think it's in the draft. It's not. I'm not seeing if it was listed in technical. I think it's in these policies for the board. So.
Okay. So if the first option is selected, so that's what we're selecting is the first option.
Correct.
That's the way I read it.
Okay. Okay. Good. And then I also had the social media policy, which you covered, so we're good there. Anybody else have anything they wanted to talk about on these? All right. So do we need to wait? And we also need to talk about the public. Yeah, the public forum. It's also listed on here to change tonight from 2 minutes to 4 minutes, so we'll double the time. Give our community a little bit more time to speak to us if they so choose. So that would be the second one we need a motion for, but that first one, can we not approve then if we're waiting to change some words?
You can, or you can, so that production can get moving, you could pull out those couple that we have questions on and approve the batch without those within and allow us to get, to bring those back to you. And when you make the motion, that will need to be stated, as well as after you have discussion about public comment, we need to make sure that we state that policy individually, just so that it's noted.
Yep, okay.
So do you have the numbers of the ones we have to wait on?
Well, yes, I do. I have those listed. It was just when I was taking notes, I have them.
So when we make a motion, we'll make it exclusive of these policies, the rest of batch 33-1.
And I'll start to make that motion now, so she can figure it
It should be 7440 and 7544.
And I just want to verify with policy 2460, if we reference the document within, are you good for us to batch that in?
Yeah.
Okay, so that's not one we need to
No.
pull. So it would be 7440 and 7544.
So I make a motion that we approve all the policies with the exception of those two numbers.
All right, that's batch 33-1.
I'll second it.
So we have a motion and a second. Any other conversation about that batch, exclusive of those two policies? All right, all those in favor? Aye. All those opposed? All right, motion carried for the first batch, and then we will need a second motion to approve the time limit moving from 2 minutes to 4 minutes for community forum. And then whoever makes that motion, if we can just have you read, it's on our agenda, read that policy number for us.
All right, I put in a motion to approve policy 0167.3 as presented for the 4-minute extension.
I'll second that.
Got a motion and a second. Any conversation around that? All right. All those in favor?
Aye.
All those opposed? Motion carried. All right.
Dennis, did you make that second?
Yes. Okay, so that wraps up our open session. Next workshop meeting will be June 5th here back at the district office. We will now be moving into closed session pursuant to Wisconsin statute 19.851E. After we go into closed session tonight, we will come back out into open session to possibly take action on what we discuss in closed session. Is there anyone here who will be waiting for us to see that action if we take it? All right, so then we will do that back there. But I appreciate you all coming tonight. We now need a motion to move into closed session.
So moved.
Second it.
I have a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
All those opposed? Yeah. Motion carried. Thank you all for coming.
Do you all need your iPads for closed session?
I don't.
I need to make sure you do.